Thank you for the introduction and good afternoon, everybody. I would first like to thank the DDL organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to talk about my work on inhalable phage encapsulated liposomes for improved delivery against Pseudomonas aeruginosa lung infections. So, antibiotics have been the cornerstone for the treatment of infectious diseases, but their overuse and misuse have caused the bacteria to become resistant to their action. So, currently, there's need for alternatives to these conventional antibiotics. And fortunately, nature has a solution. And these are bacteriophages, or phages for short. These are naturally occurring viruses that can specifically infect and kill bacteria. So currently, phages are in clinical trials, and for chronic pulmonary infections targeting Pseudomonas aeruginosa, 4 out of 5 of these trials are focused on inhaled phage delivery. The phages are extremely powerful, but the therapeutic success is dependent on how effectively can we deliver them. And this is because the phages, when they travel into the lungs, they make several encounters before they reach the site of infection. Phages are extremely sensitive and very vulnerable, and they can lose their viability, which in turn impacts their antibacterial activity. So, the first challenge is when these phages are subjected to mechanical processes like during manufacturing, they may fragment or they may also aggregate on long term storage, which impacts its viability. Second challenge is during aerosolization. The phages are subjected to a lot of mechanical stresses, and these can cause loss of structural integrity of the phage, as you can see here during nebulization, which further impacts its phage viability. And the third challenge is once these phages they reach the lungs, they can either be deposited at sites away from the infection, or they may show poor deposition, or they can also be cleared by different lung clearance mechanisms. So let's take a closer look at what happens to the phages once they reach the lungs. Now, recent studies have shown that phages can be uptaken by the epithelial cells. And this is a concern as at the infection site or off target sites in the lungs, the phages can be uptaken by these epithelial cells, and this drastically reduces the availability for killing the bacteria. And this is particularly unfavorable in case of extracellular infections like Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So collectively, all these challenges, they have a negative impact on the phage viability, and they reduces the phage available and give you a compromised antibacterial action. So there's need for formulations which can protect the phage viability and at the same time improve the availability for killing the bacteria. And with this motivation, my work focuses on using liposomes as protective shields for inhaled phage delivery. The overarching goal here is to protect the phage by encapsulating in the liposome, and we are looking at several aspects. The first one is formulation development, where we are developing phage liposomes, and the goal here is to minimize the loss due to processing conditions and maximize the phage encapsulation by understanding the phage lipid interactions. The next aspect is delivery via nebulization, where we are trying to assess the loss due to viability on aerosolization and also understand the in vitro lung deposition of these phages. And the third aspect is in vitro studies, where we are trying to understand the release of the phage from the liposomes in simulated lung fluid, and also how the encapsulation affects the phage cellular uptake in the lung epithelial cells. So the phages were encapsulated in the liposomes using thin film hydration. So we prepare a thin lipid film. The composition will be discussed in the upcoming slides. And they were hydrated with the phage suspension. Then the particles were downsized using syringe filtration and extrusion. And the phages which do not get encapsulated, they were free and they were separated using size exclusion chromatography. So during the entire process, the phage can lose its viability due to temperature conditions or also due to shear stress on extrusion, and that is even inevitable. So the loss was measured using plaque assay, and it was measured in terms of plaque forming units. So phages in general are negatively charged. So our first question was, can we use the electrostatic interaction between the phage and the liposome to help phage encapsulation? So the blank liposomes were prepared using phosphatidylcholine and cholesterol, which are endogenous lipids. And then we incorporated cationic lipid DOTAP to increase the positive charge on the surface of the liposomes. And the similar composition was used to prepare phage liposomes. So we see that with increasing cationic charge, there is increase in the electrostatic interactions between the negatively charged phage and the positive liposomal membrane. And this causes increase in the surface localization of phages. So it was interesting to also see that the surface localization also impacts the viability and encapsulation of the phages. So we see that with increase in the cationic charge, there was increased loss in viability. And that is because the phages were more exposed to the surface and the processing conditions and the shear stress during extrusion, which led to a loss in viability. And as a result, the encapsulated titer was higher for PC cholesterol composition, and it was nearly, there was twofold and threefold reduction observed in case of 1.5 and 3 mg DOTAP. So we've seen that the surface localization led to a higher viability loss, and also the hydrophobic interactions, they play a greater role in protecting the phage stability as compared to the electrostatic interaction. So we modified the lipid composition further, and we introduced the pegylated lipid and a negatively charged DSPGNA. Our next question was to understand whether increase in the loading titer contributes to increased encapsulation. So we used two different loading titers for encapsulating the phage, the low and the high titer, which yielded low and high titer liposomes. So as you can see here, in the low titer liposomes, there is no significant difference in the loss in the phage titer of the loading and the encapsulated titer, while the high titer shows a significant reduction. And this is because the liposomes, they have a limited loading capacity beyond which it cannot hold the phage. So most of the phage remains free and it's exposed to all the stresses. Therefore, high titer show a greater loss than low titer. And also we see that low titer has a better encapsulation efficiency of about 58%, and it was selected for further studies. Our next step was to understand the loss during nebulization. We used the PARI LC Plus nebulizer with a filter valve system, and we observed that the suspension phage had a higher loss of 1.55 log as compared to phage liposomes, which showed 1 log reduction. This means that the phage liposomes can protect the phages better, and it offered about a threefold protection. And the next step was to understand the deposition of these phages in the lungs, and we connected the PARI LC nebulizer with the multi-stage liquid impinger for these studies. And we found that with liposomes, you're better able to deliver the phage to the lower stages, and which led to the increase in the FPF from 25 to 37%. Though this improvement may not seem significant, we need to understand that the liposomes have already protected the phage better during the process of nebulization. So liposomes have better protection and also better lung deposition. In the in vitro studies, we tried to understand how the release of the phage from the liposome is occurring in simulated lung fluid, and the phages are released in a very slow and controlled manner, and almost complete release is achieved by the end of 10 hours. Our next step was to understand the phage cellular uptake in the lung epithelial cells, and for this we used the H441 cell monolayer grown at the air liquid interface. Once we had the required barrier properties, there were two treatment groups, the phage liposomes and the phage suspension, and they were incubated for 4 hours. So after 4 hours of incubation, we see that the phage liposomes, they show better retention compared to the free phages outside the cells. Whereas in the cell lysates, they had increasing titer in case of phage suspension as compared to phage liposomes, which means that liposomes can reduce the bring about a twofold reduction in the phage cellular uptake. And to further validate this, we also perform confocal microscopy, and here the phages are appearing green in color. You see that the phage liposomes, they have a lower intensity as compared to the phage suspension, which further means that phages are able to control the cellular uptake. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we have already seen the challenges involved in delivering the phages, which reduce the viability of the phage and also further reduces the phage which are available for killing the bacteria. So liposomes in general, They provide a protective shield, and they have they've proven to show many advantages, like minimizing the loss of nebulization, improving the lung deposition, providing controlled release, and also reducing the epithelial cell uptake. So overall, it increases the phage availability at the infection site. With that, I would like to thank my advisor, Dr. Tony Zhou, for his constant support and motivation. This work is funded by the NIH, and thank you for your attention. And I'm happy to take any questions.
So thank you, Shruti. Is there any question from the audience? Please.
Hello, and this is Neil Forbes from Philips Medisize. Thank you very much for that brilliant presentation. I was wondering if you've put any thought towards, next steps in terms of the manufacturing approach for these phage encapsulated liposomes. I saw you used lipid film hydration and handheld extrusion. Do you have any thoughts about what could take that to the next level in terms of scale, in terms of manufacturing?
Yes, so the scalability is very limited with thin film hydration, and it requires control of a lot of parameters. So I believe the next step would be using microfluidic approaches so that it can help with the scalability issue. And I believe it would require trial and error in understanding how the phage actually behaves in the microfluidic system. But I think it will also reduce the stresses that I mentioned about in my slides. That is the stresses during extrusion, the stresses during hydration, and I feel it will also give a better control on the particle properties. So extrusion microfluidics should be the way to go. Thank you.
Maybe I can have another question here. Sorry, Joanna, Teva Pharmaceuticals. I'm just wondering what is the benefit really to have an extended release versus, like direct release?
Yeah. So as I mentioned that they are easily uptaken by the epithelial cells, and the uptake, it's as quick as in a few seconds. And we do not want that because we want the phage to interact with the bacteria more and not with the epithelial cells. So if they're releasing over a shorter period of time, like over a longer period of time, maybe they have more chance of interacting with the phage and the bacteria better. And another thing about controlled release is that so the phages can also lose their viability in the process, and they may stay in the airway, but they may not act on the bacteria, which is something that we don't want. And another reason is how it relates with the wave mechanism of phage cycle. So it helps with the replication cycle better because the phages have their burst size, and they have the ability to replicate in situ. So I feel it will also help with the maintenance of the required phage dose and reduce multiple administration of phages.
Thank you.
So we have time for one last question.
Maybe, yeah, I can just very quickly ask a question here.
Okay.
So this maybe relates to the first one as well. I don't know if you did some studies regarding the stability of your phages.
Yeah, so in general, the phages, they have lower stability, like in phage suspensions, they tend to aggregate, and they can last for 6 months. But with phage liposomes also, we have found good stability. We have currently measured till 4 months, and it has shown retention in its viability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shruti, for your presentation.
Thank you.